people. Thank you for watching my video. My name is Roel. I'm a health and nutrition coach and a diabetes practitioner from Hale near Manchester in the UK. And I post these videos to motivate you to be as healthy as you can be. And today is going to be a slightly different video because I will stick on a little bit at the end with some snippets from our trip to Amsterdam that we did last weekend. And obviously if you don't find that interesting, then just stop watching them. Just wanted to show a little bit of my home country. I am from the Netherlands and used to live in Amsterdam, and that's where I met my husband. And last weekend was our 34th wedding anniversary. Bloody hell, how time flies. And we went on a little trip down memory lane. Amsterdam has changed a lot since we lived there in the end of the 80s. It's much more touristy now, and it stinks of weed everywhere. Everywhere you walk, it smells of weed. Lots of tourist shops, so it's definitely a little bit ruined by tourism. But it's still super beautiful, of course, and we had a really, really good time. And so if you'd like to see a little bit about that, that's at the end of this video. And today I wanted to, in that sort of on that same theme, talk a little bit about how you can stay healthy when you're traveling. And of course, there's no reason why you can't be healthy when you're traveling, but it might be a little bit more challenging sometimes. I just want to share a few tips on how you can do that. Now, firstly, I want to say that if you don't travel every week and you just want to let your hair down and eat whatever you want, do whatever you want, and just enjoy yourself without worrying about it, then I don't think that's a problem. If you live a healthy life most of the time, then there's no reason why you can't do that. Just have some fun every now and then when you come back, pick things back up again, and it shouldn't be a problem. If you're only going for a short time, then I don't think that's going to do a lot of damage. But if you want to stay healthy, or if you have health issues and you don't want to completely ignore your health, then I have a few tips to share. Now, obviously, all the stuff that applies when you're not traveling that helps you to stay healthy also applies when you're away. So it's not that the rules are different, it's just the challenges are slightly different. But there are some easy wins, and I think it's really good to remember that there are so many things that you can do that will be good for your health, or at least limit the damage that you can do whilst on holiday, that actually don't make a difference to how much fun you're having. It's not even going to ruin your fun. Why would you not do these things? Sometimes we just forget about that because everything is so different. We just forget about it. One example of that is hydration. You know, there's no reason, and it shouldn't be difficult to drink 8 glasses of water whilst you're away, but it will make a big difference to your health. So that's an easy win. It will really support your digestive system. It helps with your energy levels. Your brain works better. It helps with fat burning. So definitely suggest that you keep your hydration levels up. And it's easy to get dehydrated, especially if your travel involves flying, which for us, it didn't actually do this time. We went all the way on the train. So first we went on the train to London, from Manchester to London, which is just over 2 hours. And then we stayed one night in a hotel and left very early the next day on the Eurostar, direct from St Pancras station in London to Amsterdam station. And I loved it, so much better than flying. And lots of knitting time on the train. I love knitting. And we spoiled ourselves and we went business class, so we got also spoiled on the train, even with champagne. So very enjoyable experience. And we'd never had any delays or any mess ups, so it was good traveling, highly recommended. But yeah, hydration is easy. Whether you're on a train or on a plane, there's no excuse really. And the second one, which is important when you're not traveling, but becomes even more useful when you are traveling, is movement. Walking, any movement that you can incorporate will really, really help to, like I said, limit the damage that you may do from indulging a bit more on your holiday. Keeping those blood glucose levels stable, avoid the spikes in the blood glucose levels, because those are the ones that cause problems for your health. And if you watched any of my videos, you will know that I strongly believe that your blood glucose levels are at the heart of your overall health. So if you can control your blood glucose levels and avoid these spikes, then most other things will fall into place as well, because they're so directly linked to your blood glucose levels. So movement really helps with that, because when your muscles are working, they take glucose out of your blood, and that really helps to keep those blood glucose levels low. Walking, amazing, but there's no reason why you couldn't incorporate a few other things. And for example, every morning in the hotel room, whilst my husband was in the shower, I did some yoga sun salutations, but if you don't know what they are, you can easily Google it and you will see little videos, but they're just little sort of stretches, body exercises that you can do, but you can also make your own up. Even if you did a few press-ups or a few squats at the beginning of each day, that's not really going to ruin your fun, is it? But it will be really beneficial, so why not do that? And then maybe, hopefully, you have a bit more time when you're on holiday, you're not working, so you can walk more. So movement again, so keep looking for these opportunities where you can get some steps in. Then the next tip is about choosing your treats or any food mindfully, not just go in holiday mode and think, oh, well, eat whatever, because you can still really enjoy the treats, but be a little bit more mindful about which ones you're having and which ones you don't need, because you don't really need it. Why would you have it? When we go to Holland, there's a few things that I really like. One of them is herring. That's actually really healthy, so I didn't have to restrict myself on the herring. But there are other ones like licorice, which are super unhealthy. Bitterballen, which are sort of fried, difficult to explain if you've never seen one. It's a bit like a round croquette, and the filling is the stuff that you would get in an old-fashioned vol au vent, that sort of meat ragu. And yeah, sounds a bit weird, but it is really nice, I think. And chips and mayonnaise, really like that. But that doesn't mean that you have to have loads of it and every day. It doesn't even have to mean that you have to have all of them. For example, I decided that I didn't really need the bitterballen. It's one of these things that they're not really part of a meal. It's more like something that you have with a drink. But I didn't really need it. I could have had it if I wanted to, but I just decided don't really need it that much and decided not to have it. So it wouldn't be a problem if I decided to have them, but it's good to sort of give yourself a moment to think about it. How much do I actually really want it, or how much am I just having it because I think I should be having it, or it's here, so I'm going to have it. And just those little moments of reflection, that sort of mindfulness about what you're about to eat, can be really helpful. And then also, when you do decide to enjoy an indulgence, really enjoy it. Make sure that you choose the best one, and not just have any chips or any rank bitterball you can find, but have a good quality one, have a moment, enjoy it, and then you need less of it. So only then indulge when it's really worth it, and if it doesn't really matter that much to you, why would you do it? It's just needless indulgence that's gonna have negative impact on your health for no reason. You didn't even enjoy it that much. Partly related to that is to prepare for traveling. So if you would not prepare anything, then you could go on a plane or a train, and if you hadn't eaten for a while before traveling, then you might feel really hungry when you get on the train or the plane or the boat or wherever you're traveling on, and then you end up having to eat what's available in that moment, and that's not always actually hardly ever healthy food. So again, nothing against having that. If you like that and you want it, then have it. But personally, I think the food on planes and trains and airplanes and boats are actually, I'm not even enjoying that. So I'd rather prepare not to have to eat that. So we did have food included on the Eurostar. I think when we travelled there, it was a breakfast, so it was a little bit of omelette and sausage, and then there was a bread roll as well. I didn't have the bread roll, but I had the omelette. Just make choices. On the way back, we had a lunch, and it came with some cheese. It came with a dessert. I had the cheese, not the dessert, but you know, it's just a choice. But if you're ravenous, then you may want to eat that all. But if you had a healthy breakfast before, or maybe taken some food with you, just in case the food that is offered to you is not what you want to eat, then you have more options to eat healthy food, and you're not sort of stuck with what's presented to you because you didn't think about it beforehand. And this is where the hydration really helps as well, because if you're thirsty, you tend to want to eat more, and if you're well hydrated, then it tends to help with appetite. Then generally throughout your travels and whilst you're away, I would always choose to eat the vegetables, the protein and the healthy fats before anything else. If you have the choice, if it's not all mixed together in a dish, then eat those first, because that again will really help to limit the effect of that meal on your blood glucose levels. And this is such an easy thing to do. It doesn't ruin your holiday, but if you think of doing that, that can make a big difference. And then the last thing I would say is when you get back from your travels, just get back on the healthy living straight away. It's so easy when you've been out of your daily routine to come back and then be a little bit out of your normal routine, and maybe you've got something coming up, maybe you've got a cold, and you think, oh, I'll get back on it when the cold's gone, or when this happens or that happens. This is often where you're going to do way more damage than is necessary. It's much better to go straight when you get back. That's it, back on, you know, your normal healthy routine, and then it doesn't matter even if you have indulged during the holiday. You will very quickly get back to healthy results. Right, I hope you found that helpful. If you did, then give me a little thumbs up, or maybe even subscribe to my channel. I would really like that, because then I can grow this YouTube channel. I'm really so appreciative of the followers that I have and the people watching, so thank you so much. And if you're interested in any other services I offer, I've just started a sort of an accountability support product where you can get weekly Zoom sessions with questions and answers, motivational pep talk, goal setting. There's accountability where you can fill in food diaries. I won't bore you with it in this video. I'll leave the link to it down below, and feel free to look into that. If you ever want to have a chat, go to the website. My contact details are there. And otherwise, I just look forward to seeing you in my next video. So after this, I will hopefully, technically, have been able to add the snippets from our trip away. But if you're not interested, then obviously just leave now. I hope to see you again. Lots of love. Bye. This was the start of our little trip to the Netherlands, and that was the Eurostar leaving St Pancras in London and going directly to Amsterdam. And this is just a bit of footage from the train. I do apologise, I haven't worked out how to flip the screen, and I did try. Got a bit frustrated, give up, and I'll promise that next time I remember to hold my camera the other way around, so I don't have to worry about it later when I upload it. I think you've already realised that I'm not a professional YouTuber or photographer, but I'm getting better, learning all the time. We travelled in style, business class, so we had champagne, and I used the time to do a lot of knitting, which I love doing. Arrived at Central Station in Amsterdam. It's a beautiful building. It's all a little bit scruffy just outside the station, obviously, with all the tourists arriving. And this is the little alleyway where I used to live in the 80s. It's just off Dam Square of Rokin, right in the centre of Amsterdam. A very small room, those 3 windows, those on the white wall. Had an amazing time, of course. And this is the hotel that we stayed at. It's called V or Roman 5. I'm not sure, but it was a lovely hotel. And this was our room, and that was the bathroom. And we really enjoyed staying there. This is the Rijksmuseum, and of course famous for the Night Watch Rembrandt painting, but they have lots of other beautiful paintings, and not just paintings. So here are just a few random clips of artworks. I thought I wouldn't enjoy it as much as I did, because I've been there a few times before and I thought, well, I've seen it all, but actually I still thoroughly enjoyed it. Even the building itself is beautiful with the leaded glass. They don't just show paintings, but also bits of furniture, like this beautiful cabinet. And yeah, of course, Dutch painters are famous for their realistic paintings. So it's absolutely staggering how they can paint certain things that look just real. And of course, there was some Delft blue earthenware. Those big, long, tall things are vases. This was my favourite. The doll's house. There was actually two doll's houses. This is one of them. And it was so intricate. All the little bits of furniture, even the silverware is real silverware. Yeah, I could look at that for hours. And I sort of feel like I want to make my own doll's house, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do that. That sounds like a big project. But lovely to see how that was done. So that's another one there. There were two big doll's houses to have a look at. Look at the bed; it's just amazing. And more paintings. It wasn't that busy actually. Amsterdam generally has pretty much been a bit ruined by tourists. It stinks of weed everywhere. There's so many coffee shops. I thought they clamped down on them, but I don't know, maybe there were even more before. But yeah, you walk around there, you pretty much get high for free. And then there's a tatty little tourist shops as well. But it's still beautiful, the buildings are beautiful. Personally, I would recommend that you go to Haarlem. I've got a few little clips of Haarlem coming up. That's where we lived after we lived in Amsterdam. So I met my husband in Amsterdam. He's English. And then he came to Holland for a while. He lived in Amsterdam with me, and then we moved to Haarlem. And he lived in Holland for 7 years. So this is the Night Watch. It was behind glass because it's being completely renovated. You might see on the left there, that's a little bit on the painting that they sort of, I don't know, they probably didn't scrape it off. I don't know what they've done. But over the years, apparently, it's been tarted up, and now they're just doing a massive clean up. More of the beautiful building, the Rijksmuseum, and they've renovated that not that long ago, actually, a couple of years ago. These beautiful pictures of daily life in the olden days, and it gives you a real insight in what life looked like in Holland hundreds of years ago. I really enjoyed it. And later on in these clips, I will show you a little bit of a house on the canal that we went into, that they kept as it would have been in those days, 1800s. I think that's in Delft, that house. Don't ask me the names of the painters, I can't remember all of them. Absolutely beautiful. Lots of pictures of people drinking and partying. And look at that glassware, how they paint that, and the silk is just unbelievable. I can't even begin to think how you do that. The detail. Those are oysters. So these are the militia, although they look a bit fat and unfit, but I think all they did was shooting. It doesn't look like they did a lot of running. I look a bit uncomfortable in those clothes as well. Again, beautiful still life of fruits and fish. Often there'd be some funny objects in there as well. If there was one of a vase with flowers, and there would be like a dead frog underneath. I couldn't really understand it. I'm sure if you look it up, there'll be a reason for it, some symbolism, but I don't know what it was. More pictures. You could spend a whole day in the Rijksmuseum, but we're not really one of these people who puts headphones on and do the guided tours. We just wander around and stop where we're interested and quickly go through stuff that we're not that interested in. Love the old pictures from like the winter scenes, where they're skating. And I can remember as a child, every winter we'd be out all day after school skating. So these are hats, knitted hats, and I was quite impressed with the detail, how tiny the stitches were. So these are hats for whalers, is that what you call it? Whalers? That makes me think of Bob Marley and the Whalers. I'm sure there were different whalers. These are whale hunters, probably. This is in a little bar in Amsterdam on one of the canals, and it's what they call a proeflokaal, which literally translates as a tasting place. And it's where those big vats are Dutch Geneva, which is like a gin. We quickly saw our meal at the hotel, which was amazing, Côte de Boeuf. Of course, we couldn't resist a little trip to the big Hema. There's a massive Hema in Amsterdam, actually 2 stories, which I don't think I've ever seen that before, Hema on 2 stories. And Hema is a Dutch shop where you can buy anything, anything and everything. Stuff for your home, clothing, you name it, they've got it. Then we went on a little ferry over the IJ, which is the big water that runs to the port of Amsterdam, and it's a free little ferry, and it's used by pedestrians and cyclists, and it takes you to Amsterdam North, which I think is pretty boring, apart from these amazing swings high up on that building, which, trust me, we did not go on. That's a little view of it. You can see the big ships coming in from the sea, and they can then make it onto the canals. Not the little canals in Amsterdam, but a big canal going through Holland. Of course, I had to have a herring. That was me holding a Dutch herring, which is basically a raw herring. Another cute little traditional Amsterdam pub. That's my husband Paul standing in front of the bar where we first met in '87. So it's cool to see that again. And this is one of the expensive shopping streets in Amsterdam South. Then we went on to the Vondelpark. Vondelpark is nice. It gives you sort of a little bit of Central Park vibes, mainly because it's a park in a city. So this is rush hour in Amsterdam, and it's just hundreds and thousands of bikes, loads and loads and loads. And that's the thing I miss the most from Holland, not being able to cycle. Of course, we had an Indonesian rijsttafel. Indonesian food is very popular in Holland. Indonesia used to be a Dutch colony, and still loads of Indonesian people in Holland. And Indonesian rijsttafel might be one of these things that is designed for people abroad, something that they may not even eat in Indonesia. I'm not sure. Somebody who's been there can tell me maybe. Then we randomly in the middle of the city found these stables. There were loads of bats flying around, which was a bit freaky. But yeah, it was near the Vondelpark, so I'm assuming that you can ride horses in the Vondelpark. But it was quite cute to see that. I don't think we captured the bats on the video. That's Paul on the bike in Haarlem. So this is Haarlem. Absolutely stunning place. And if I would move back to Holland again, which we're not planning to, but if we would, then Haarlem would be where I would want to live. Traditional market, very common in Holland, most Saturdays and sometimes another day in the week, where you can buy vegetables, meat, cheese, of course. These are little side streets in Haarlem, and they're all very gorgeous old houses, a similar style to Amsterdam. Then we cycled from Amsterdam via Haarlem to Zandvoort, which is by the beach, as you can see. We were so lucky with the weather. It was beautiful weather. and we sat in this beach club having a beer, and it was literally like being in Barbados. I've never been in Barbados, but how I would imagine it to be. This is the Hewlett Hogendijk, I think, house, but this is the old big townhouse on one of the canals, and it was bequeathed to the city of Amsterdam, and they kept it sort of as much as possible in the original style. This is how they would have lived in it in 1800s. I think it was 1895 when it was bequeathed to Amsterdam. Amazing house. Couldn't believe the space, the decorations. Really, really beautiful. The people who lived there was a couple. They didn't have any children, and they were very much fan of a French sort of Louis XVI style of decoration, and they were also art collectors. So they had lots of art on the walls, that some costumes, there's some clothes that they could have been wearing in those days. So that would have been like the living room, if you like. Beautiful lights as well, the chandeliers, as you can see there. Lots of paintings. That was actually a painting of that room as it was. So it was not all of it was original. They've restored some of the stuff that couldn't be kept, but they did it as you can imagine it would have been then, which I think is super interesting. The crockery, of course, was beautiful. At the beginning, there was a picture of the kitchen downstairs. Don't think they had running water. There was kind of a pump in the kitchen where they would have pumped the water from. God knows where that would have come from. Hopefully not from the canals. This was a little room at the back of the house, and I think they painted over the walls. The walls used to be painted with flowers, as you can see, a little bit left, a little bit there on top, but the light was amazing. The lamp, it was porcelain, very, very detailed, beautiful colours. So this was the study. Oh, the bedroom, sorry. This was the bedroom, and that little bit at the back there, that's the bathroom, I think. There was no other bathrooms. It was just a pot and some, jugs where you can put water in, and a screen. I guess that was it. And four-poster bed. This was what they called the antiques room, which was just a little sitting room with a lot of antiques, funny enough. That's probably why it was called the antiques room. And very colourful carpets, wallpaper, beautiful wooden ceiling. It's really nice to see. I had a little sort of garden at the back, but I think they used to not have a garden. There was more of a coach house there with horses, and the coach, of course, this is the study. And if they wanted to go out, the coach driver would come round from the back to the front of the canal and pick them up. Of course, I couldn't go to Amsterdam and not visit the yarn shop called Stephen and Penelope. And Stephen West, obviously famous, well, I say obviously, if you're not a knitter you wouldn't know that, famously designs knitwear, and the shop is really good. But I think most yarn shops I've been to are really good. They're all a bit different, and I didn't have a lot of time there, so I didn't film. Also, I was just too busy looking at the yarn, and I didn't want to distract from that by filming. But I didn't want to leave out the little goodies that I bought there, and so I'm just making this separate little video to show you what I got in Stephen and Penelope yarn shop. Now, obviously you may not be interested if you're not a knitter and you watch this video because you're into health, but I can make a link, and I don't even think it's a tenuous link between knitting and health, because I think knitting and any sort of craft is really good for your mental health, and also a good outlet for creativity. And as human beings, we're meant to use our creativity. The knitting really helps me to ground myself, just be happy in the moment, and also produce things. And by now I do actually produce things that I wear and love. So highly recommend that you have some kind of hobby, and if it's a creative one, even better, to aid your mental health. Right, so what I got in the shop, I didn't actually need anything, but I think most crafters will agree with me that we never need anything. We just want stuff. And I went in without a plan, so I wasn't really looking for anything. Obviously, I excluded the yarn that I could buy in the UK, because it wouldn't make much sense buying UK yarn in Amsterdam, because it would be more economical to buy that here in the UK. So having said that, I did pick up something in the sale that I think is from Ireland, but actually that does make sense, because Ireland would now also be a little bit more tricky to buy from the UK. Right, so one thing that I bought, especially because you could only buy it in the shop, they don't sell it online, and they do actually ship worldwide. So if you're interested, have a look at Stephen and Penelope online. But and that's Stephen with PH, in case you're wondering. But this set they only sold in the shop, so that's why I was keen to pick it up. And I don't know whether Mill Region Veendam is the dyer, but this yarn is exclusively dyed for Stephen and Penelope, and like I said, you can only get it in the shop. It's inspired by Dutch stuff, and there were 4 sets. I should really have remembered the other 3, but I think one was called Stormy Skies and one was called Flowers. That was mainly pink hues, and I'm sure there was a blue one as well. I'm not sure what that one was called, but anyway, I went for the one called Dutch Countryside, and it's dyed by, there's not a lot of information, a lady called Saskia in Veendam, which is a small town in near Amsterdam. And the colorways in this kit are Orange Emperor, Annie Schilder, and from memory she's a famous Dutch singer. I've left Holland a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure she's a famous Dutch singer. I actually thought she was from Volendam, but I could also be completely wrong about all of this. Green Power and Orange Princess. And orange is one of my favourite colours, but having said that, in yarn, it hasn't really been. In yarn, I tend to go more for the pinks, but I do really love this one, and so I'll show you. It comes in a beautiful little box. I also got free pattern of my choosing, so I can just go on the website and choose a free pattern, so that was really great with the purchase. And so in the box, wow, look at that, that's like sunshine in the box, isn't it? So this is a needle, what do you call that, gauge? I don't know what you call it, but anyway, you can stick your knitting needles in there and you know what size you're looking at, in the shape of a tulip. Beautiful. And here are the yarns. We've got the Orange Princess there, superwash merino fingering weight, and so it'd be great for socks, but I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I'm just going to enjoy it and look at it. So this is a beautiful mix of colors, a bit of brown, yellow, orange, green, and so this is very much inspired by the tulip fields in the Netherlands. This is the label. It's got some nylon in it, so you could use it for socks. And a beautiful picture of a windmill. Yeah, Mill Region, maybe that is the name of the dyer. Who knows? I should have researched that really, shouldn't I? But as I'm not a professional YouTuber, I didn't. And this one's beautiful, deep orange colour. I think the colour is coming out okay, as I see it. I'm sitting by the window. So this one is the Orange Emperor. So I don't actually know if you can find this online with the dyer, not with Stephen and Penelope. I know that. So this, if you wonder what mulesing free means, it means that the sheep haven't been abused with a treatment that is sometimes used on them, and I don't really want to go into it, but if you want to look it up, brace yourself, because it's horrible. And so I'm glad to see that this is mulesing free. Right, and then we have the green one, which is called Green Power, appropriately named, and it's a beautiful green. I never used to like green, but now I do. So that just shows that your taste for colour can change as well as your taste for food. And of course they all go really well together, so I might look at a shawl pattern and knit them all together. I think that might be a really good idea. So this one is bright, was it bright yellow? No, it's not even bright yellow, it's quite a rich yellow, and it's called Annie Schilder. I've no idea what yellow's got to do with Annie Schilder, but again, same quality of yarn. So together, beautiful combination, I think. So actually, I think I'm going to do a shawl with that. And then I picked up two skeins that were in the sale. I think they were part of a previous yarn along, and they were half price. Well, when I say half price, that's still not super cheap, because most of the yarn in Stephen and Penelope shop is on the high end for sure, but also good quality. So this is from Life in the Long Grass, and that's the Irish one. And yeah, so like I said, I'm really attracted to the pink ones, and this one's got a bit of green in it as well. So let's see if I can find it. I think maybe in the other skein I can see it better. I picked up two, gives me a bit more opportunity to work with it, make something. There's a bit of green and a bit of yellow, some reds, and some, yeah, maybe aubergine or brown. But yeah, I think it's a really beautiful yarn. Anyway, so although I just wanted to share with you what I bought, because I always like to see what other people buy in the yarn shop, and if you didn't find it interesting, then I'm sorry. We'll get back to health. I hope you enjoy my little snippets from videos that I took whilst travelling in Holland. I did not leave any links below of all the stuff that we got up to, or any references, but if you want to know something, the name of the hotel or where we went, then ask down below, and I will answer if I can. Again, apologies for the fact that you only had that small little screen. I totally forgot that I should have filmed my videos horizontally to get them to come up right. I really tried hard to change it, spent an hour, got very frustrated, so I gave up in the end. But I still hope you enjoyed it. Next time I will do better. And don't forget to set yourself one little goal this week around your health. What is the one thing that you can do this week that's going to improve your health? How are things going? Where can you make some changes? Is it your diet? Is it your physical activity, your stress management, or your sleep? Come up with one little action, not a result, something you can do, an action, and that you're going to do this week. Just focus on that. And if you do that every week, then slowly but gradually you'll get healthier and healthier, and it will feel much easier than set yourself some stupid big goal for a long period of time. Thanks for watching again, and look forward to seeing you in my next video. Hopefully, lots of love. Bye.